That's right. Tonight we got Mexicat Fishing on. Welcome to Palmetto Cats Live, everybody. I'm Kevin. Happy Father's Day to all of you who are fathers out there or who have special fathers in your life, whatever the case may be. If you're missing your father today, happy Father's Day to everybody. I hope everyone has had a wonderful day. For me, I spent yesterday on the lake with my father, and it was awesome. We went to church this morning, heard a fantastic sermon about being a man and being a father. So we had an awesome day. We got a bunch of people in the house. Avid fisherman, Epic Catfish, Two Stands, Sean, Catfish Heroes, Hooks and Hammocks, Nebraska Wildcats, Eddie Gross, Anthony Clark, Kentucky Catfish Chris, Dan wants to know if he has won yet. No, not yet, Dan. We got, let's see, scrolling down. JP3 was in here early. Wayne Smith, Uncle Jeep, beep, beep, in the house. We got downtown Ernie Brown. I saw old Villa in there. Carolina Catfish Headhunters, Jose. That's a long one. We got Fishing and Cooking with Mike Chavez. If you notice that little emblem by his name and by Hooks and Hammocks, that's because they're a part of my Boom Squad. Thank you, fellas, for your monthly contribution to the channel to support. There's Brian Maynard. We got Fishing with Big Mike in the house. Ricky's Creations. Got those trophies. Trophies burning bright back there. Trophy Seekers Outdoors. Happy Father's Day. Hola, Pescadores del Gatos. I guess that's Hey Palmetto Cats. Fishing with Clarence. Not only is he the best fisherman in the world, but he knows a little bit of Espanol. All right, we got a lot of people in here. I'll holler you out as soon as we get rolling here, or as soon as I see you come in. We're gonna get to a giveaway right now. First thing, I know it's crazy. Usually you wait till a bunch of people get in, but this is a special giveaway. If you saw recently, hey, it's Pontoon Jody. If you saw my chicken foot video, didn't go as viral as I thought it would, but it was still a fun video. I put a special message in that video somewhere. Not going to tell you where, but in that video, I talk about the Trophy Cat rod. And now, I've been testing that rod out all year long for over 6 months now, and I'm done with it. I'm going to give it away. And people who commented that special comment in that video are going to have a chance to win that rod right now. And we're going to get moving on that. So on my page, we went to the chicken foot video, chicken paws, right here. I'm going to copy that link right here. And then we're going to go to random comment picker, YouTube comment picker. We're going to come down. We're going to paste that video link into that bubble right there. We're going to filter duplicate users. We're going to filter based on a specific text. The text was hashtag Trophy Cat. And as you'll see, there's only 7 comments. Only 7 people watched to the end of that video and saw that the giveaway, you had to enter hashtag Trophy Cat. So those people are entered. We're going to start that random picker right now. Boom. The winner is Mr. Gadget Fishing. His comment was great job and great try. The true test would have been to have Dieter give it a shot in his home waters, because we all know he loves chicken. His fish love chicken. Chicken paws, that's a new one. Trophy Cat Fishing. Congratulations, Mr. Gadget. You won a Trophy Cat heavy action rod. Mr. Gadget, I see him right there. He's in here. Congratulations, Mr. Gadget. I think I have your address, but if you wouldn't mind, email me and I'll send that rod out to you. All right, everybody. Let me do a few more shout outs. Bottom feeders hooked up. What's up, Farron? Two Stands again. Great show today, Two Stands. And then he was on the Bible study with a couple other guys. Art for 1 ton. 1 ton for life. Brian B. Catfishing. let's see, Redbeard's Outdoor Channel. Welcome. The Bullock Experience. Georgia Fisherman. Fishing with the Chads in the house. Got all kinds of fantastic people. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Just keep commenting. I'll get you. Carping Down Under, Real Time Catfishing. What's going on, John? Let's see. Laughing Cat Fishing. Beep, beep. Who got the keys to my Jeep? Michael Williams, what's up? All right, cool. Well, I'm going to stop delaying. Those of you, hey, Central Valley, Chad Nolte. There's my wife in there. We're going to get this show on the road. Now this is a last minute show. We just threw this together today, and thankfully Mexicat, with his busy schedule on Father's Day, was able to come in here and spend some time with us. I'm not sure what's in store, y'all. So we'll see. Will we find out who the Mexicat is really and see his face? Well, we'll find out. I'm disappointed you didn't have me on the show tonight for Father's Day because you know I'm your daddy. Oh, Clarence. All right, here we go. The one and only Mexicat Fishing. What's going on, Mexicat?
How's everyone?
Mexicat, we were chatting before the show, and you said that you're a little nervous because you haven't really done too many of these live streams or at all any, have you?
No, just here like the knot tying contest or you know the derby contest, things like that. But no like talk show format or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, and I guess I should have specified you've been on a live stream, but it's not been all about you.
Right.
And today it is. You're our special guest.
Well, it's going to be awful quiet because I don't talk about myself, so you're going to have to ask a lot of questions.
Well, I'm sure that the people in chat will have plenty of questions. And we got Vibe7 throwing up the first super chat, $2. I heard Mexicat was chunky in a mask. LOL JK. Well, if anybody thought that Mexicat was Chunky Cats, Chunky Cats is live right now. Make sure you check Chunky Cats out. Always a great show. But here he is. There, you see Chunky Cat is live right now, and Mexicat is here on the screen. And I got the red and the green in the background in honor of Mexicat. So before we go into anything else, how'd you come up with the name Mexicat Fishing?
We were just kind of playing around with the idea, like even having a YouTube channel was something new that me and Michael Morello were kind of like playing around. Last year there wasn't a lot to do, everything shutting down, things like that, so we just kind of like Mike's been fishing religiously for years, and then I had finally got back into it last year, and we were texting all the time, talking all the time, showing each other our equipment, things like that, who had just made the most recent purchase and, what was it like? We were kind of like giving one another reviews of the products and things like that. And so, I think that's, really where the idea came from, was just us texting back and forth. And like, hey, we should make a YouTube channel, ourselves. And, we could put some of that stuff out there and, do a review or something like that. And because that fire stick rod, that first one that I gave away, when I went to look for it online at the time, there was only one review, and there wasn't like any close-ups on it. There wasn't really any information. It was really more like an unboxing. And then they pulled it out, and then I was like, well, that's not enough information. I think I could get on there and at least, say what it is or show the handle. Or with so many of us buying online last year, you didn't really get to go to a store and put your hands on it. So that's what I was trying to do. But just throwing that idea around, Mike and I were just like, well, what do you do with, a couple Mexicans that are, catfishing? Like, we should be like the Mexicats for the Mexicats fishing, or, come up with something and, kind of go that route. So that's what we did. That's kind of where it all came from, and everything else. It wasn't it
wasn't like a lifelong dream to have a YouTube channel.
No, and it was just something to do, but it started getting a lot of traction really quick. And then as soon as a good friend of mine, Casey over at Whisker Whippers, heard that I was doing this, his daughter drew the logo. And then as soon as the logo got out there, then people wanted it, hey, can I get a shirt? Can I get a hat? And I was like, I don't
Oh
have it.
yeah.
I've got like 4 subs. I was like, I don't have any of this stuff. What are you guys talking about?
That's the thing now, man.
Yeah. So I then I, went out real quick and made a merchandise site and things like that. But I was never, promoting it or, doing anything like that. Some of my first videos on there are the worst. Like I didn't even know, I didn't know what I was doing.
I beg to differ.
If you
Thank you for Hooks and Hammocks for that $5 super chat. Mexicat is awesome. Clarence said, "Do you use carne asada for bait?"
I'd never waste a good carne asada as bait. That's for sure.
Mr. Gadget said, masks are not required anymore. He's Kelly said, "Unmasking Mexican in a mask is sacred." So did that, now I know you have your reasons for wearing a mask, but did the whole wrestling tradition ever cross your mind when you did the mask and the outfit and everything?
It has, but it wasn't like the defining reason behind it or anything.
Gotcha.
It was really just playing around with different ideas and things like that. So, what could we do? What would I never wanted to take it too seriously. Like if you look at the first 2 videos, that's kind of where, the first one was just bad because I didn't know editing, and it was like the catfish sumo rod. But I didn't know that I do all my editing, everything that I do. I don't have any equipment. I don't have any programs. I don't have anything. I just use iMovie on my iPhone. So I didn't know that normalizes your volume for you. And I had only ever watched the video playback on the phone. So it wasn't until I uploaded it to YouTube, I could find out, hey, this music's like at 300%, but my voice is down here like 1%, and like all these other things.
You got to learn sometime, man. I mean, you don't just come out the womb, Right. And yeah, I was going to say the link is in the description, guys. But thank you guys for posting that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Over edit it and just keep. I would nitpick something to death, so I just wanted to throw it out there. So I said, okay, now something's there. And then when I did the second video, it was more like, okay, I'm going to make a mistake on camera. I'm going to do something, that I would think is, foolish or silly or something like that. So I intentionally did everything that I was doing in the second video, like pretending to live with my mom, playing with sound effects, doing a quote out of the, Speed movie, like all these different things, just being ridiculous and fun. So that once that was out there, and that video has the most views because it's on a serious topic, because it's the difference between all the Abu Garcia 6500. Right. It's got like thousands of views, and these comments are like, what are you doing? And I've thought about going back and re-editing it just to get down to like the serious side of it and be like, okay, here's what you really want to know. But at the time I did it, it was just, let's do something where, if you do something foolish and put it out there anyway, then you're not going to be worried about it later down the road. So, there's something that you can go out and make fun of and, do all these other things. And then, kind of from there it was, well, if I'm not, making fun of myself, who else could we, bring into this and get everybody in on the joke? And that's kind of when I started changing some of those videos.
Well, don't go too far ahead. So there's a lot of reference to Michael Murillo. You brought up Michael. I've had that as a trivia question, that you guys are the same guy because you have the same timbre of voice. So what is the relation with you and Michael Murillo? Are you friends? Are you brothers? Are you cousins? Are you his uncle? Are you his dad?
we're cousins. We're just cousins that have been around, each other forever. Our grandparents were actually cousins and next door neighbors. So
wow.
When we were younger, we were growing up at least in the neighborhood and things like that. Like, I mean, you're talking city blocks and, away from, Mike and his family, or my other cousins and their families, and, people that we had went to school with, things like that. So we had all, when we were younger, we were actually growing up and fishing together. and, going to do that as a pastime, and then, become, high school, college, things like that, kind of go our separate ways. And then, I went in the military and, came back and, got married, and, we did, just pretty much had our lives. And, those went out, their own separate ways for a little bit. And then, like I said, last couple of years, we always stayed in touch, to a
Right.
degree, or would always see each other. But last year we really started, talking, hanging out, and, seeing each other and doing all this other stuff. And that's where some of the videos and ideas and things came from.
Awesome. Yeah, they don't believe it. They say green screen, smoke and mirrors. They don't. That isn't the real Mexicat. He's pulling a Milli Vanilli on us. But yeah, so you mentioned the military. You are a Marine, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you for your service. Do you care to share anything about your service?
I mean, it was, I don't know if I was supposed to, be there or whatever. I wasn't one of those ones that was like from
That
birth
wasn't a
through
lifelong dream.
No, it definitely wasn't. But
Okay.
I was a great student in high school, good GPA, everything else. But then went up to college and just lost my mind. So I had
Mhm.
so many classes and extracurriculars and things like that, that after my first semester, my GPA was below a zero. So, or, it was like that
Wow.
0.03 or something like that. So they had asked me to reevaluate some things. I had signed up for that second semester, so I was planning on going in January, and then really just gave it a lot of thought. And I just knew that I wasn't ready for it. It wasn't like it's not like I can read a book and go and memorize it and go take
Right.
a test and answer everything. It was a lot different. So I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. I need a little more perspective. And so I dropped out in January. And by March of that same year, I was in Marine boot camp in San Diego. And then that was all the perspective you needed. I mean, like the first 24 hours there, you're like, if I had just read a book, I wouldn't be doing this stuff right now. So then it wasn't too bad. But no, that was exactly what I needed at the time. And then,
Right.
again, you've now set a bar, you've got a perspective. And when you think things are hard, then, you've got something this isn't that bad. I can study for this test. I'll work something in, I'll get something going. So
That's interesting you say that, because a lot of people, live on that edge. Like, this is the worst thing ever all the time. So I like that you said that you have a basis for the suck.
oh
You have a
yeah.
basis for how hard it can get, whatever it is. And I know this is a show about catfishing and the people of catfishing, but I think that's a great life lesson. And then you said another thing, that's what you needed at the time. And it's funny. I think I know God knows exactly what we need at the time. And although you're obviously a smart individual, extremely smart, that's what you needed at that time. So whatever you were going through, God knew that you needed the Marine Corps, and it brought you to where you're at today.
Yeah, it was a good time. I mean, like that's why sometimes I even get uncomfortable when people say thank you for your service and things like that. I mean, I always appreciate it. I know the good in it, and where it's coming from. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, if you had any idea what I was doing, during my service time, it may be a little bit different. So
Mm-hmm.
it was always it was always fun. It was a good time. Like, I mean, there are, it's the military is just completely different. And I loved it. That's where I got my money to go to college. That's where I got a lot of my opportunities. That's where I developed a work ethic. There's all these things
Right. Exactly.
that helped me get to where I'm at today. So on that end of it, or from that aspect, then it was always a great thing. And I've
Right.
met some of the best friends, some of the same guys I still talk to now, like over 20 years later. We're still all friends. We all talk, text each other. And
You have
there's
that bond that you wouldn't have had
oh
ever.
sure. And that's always different, especially when you come back home and things like that. Like it's completely different having it's a different relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
with those guys, they have your back no matter what.
Right.
24/7. As bad as it gets, they're not leaving your side. And then you come back here and hang out with your friends from high school and college, and they're on a different level. So you're just like,
Yeah.
you know, you can look back and appreciate it. So
Uh-huh. So you mentioned growing up fishing, and I know from Michael has told me that his dad took him fish. So I'm guessing that's your uncle. Did you have those same experiences growing up on the lake and fishing whenever you could, or was it just here and there?
oh no, we went quite a bit. There were a couple times like Mike and his grandfather and his family, his brother and Trish and everybody else, they had like certain places or certain lakes that they would go to as like a vacation, and they'd be there for a
Mm,
week or two, things like that. And we'd go with them sometimes, or like I said, with his grandfather and my grandfather being cousins, they would go fishing together and we would go with them. So
gotcha.
there were a lot of times that we were with them, or just me and my grandfather, me and my dad, me and my brother, whoever really wanted to go fishing. Even today, it's the same thing. I'll still go with my brother, my sister. My mom likes to get out when she can, so we take her out there, and or even my kids, and it's whoever really wants to go, can come and go
Right.
fishing
Jump in
with
the
us.
truck. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's really just about getting out there and having a good time, and the kids don't care what they're catching and things like that. As long as they were catching fish, they were fine with it. So.
Right. So let's get to your content. So anybody who wants to check out Mexicat, we don't say that S word anymore because YouTube doesn't like it. But the his link is in the description, and people have been sharing it in chat. So go check it out. It's some of the funniest stuff I've seen. Now that kind of stuff is really difficult to do because you're not coming up. I think it's actually easier to make content like I do. I go out and film what I'm doing, and I have a process in mind, the storyline, what I want to show, blah blah blah. You, on the other hand, have to wait for these nuggets to drop from all these channels, and I'm talking about the content that's kind of like spoofy, not the review stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. Do you just do you watch videos and then you screen record it, or do you do it all at one time? Tell me a little bit about that process and how you came up with the idea to do that kind of stuff.
It's kind of difficult, and then other times it's like really easy. So that was like, we'll get to the reviews here in a second, but that was my initial concern. Was, for whatever reason, it was the end of 2020 when we're not getting out and actually going
Right.
fishing. So it wasn't like we're striking goals right now for creating a YouTube channel. It was, what can you do, what can you put out there, and what would add value to what
Mm-hmm.
these guys are doing. So yeah, I mean, at that time, Mike's actually who brought me into like this community, this group of people. So I was floating around, watching, Cats and Carp, and whoever, the big fishing channels were. I'd catch their video. Justin over at Kayak Catfish, Mike Chavez
Mm-hmm.
was another one of the first ones that I saw, because he was even popping up in a bunch of the original cat conference videos and things like that. I'd see him, on Luke's, stream or one of his videos, and I was like, oh, who's this guy, and then go check
Right.
that out and things. But I didn't know this community of people, and so it was a lot different, coming in, you know, at that time, and having limited content and not wanting to like pigeonhole yourself into, this guy's a review channel.
Right.
And I was like, what I wanted to do is actually just get out there and, go fishing and, add some commentary, take my friends out, record that, because I was thinking in 2020, we had gone fishing so much. And had I just recorded what I had, I mean, it would have been viral in a minute. There were, times where, I'm out there telling my brother I know the greatest fishing spot on this bank is, over this way, and I start walking that way and fall in a mud hole, and next thing I'm like up to my waist in the mud, and looking up at him in a lawn chair, and he was just like, oh, how's that good spot now, as he's looking down, like, just things like that, just silly things like that all the time, were happening as we were fishing. And I was like, this would be hilarious on these channels, but we couldn't get out and fish. So
Right.
it was hard to do that. And then when I first started doing, that first video, I think it was like number 7 with Elston and um, John Morello, Michael's dad. When I did
Yep, yep.
that video premiere, that idea, it was, Mike had told me that John just received the rod and they had got pictures of it. And Ricky from Ricky's Creations had said, hey, do you think there's a way that, you or you guys can come up with something to, show, highlight my rod in a video or something like that. And maybe go back and forth with, Chunky, because he's got a rod like that too.
Right.
And I didn't know what to do with it. So I wasn't like, jumping into anything. And then for whatever reason, like the whole video just clicks one night, and then I can see the whole format, in like an outline form. And I knew what I wanted to do. So what makes it hard then is I was like, okay,
going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to watch all that video, and then you don't know, I was like, this would be funny if he said something like that, like the 4 pounds.
Right.
Chunky, I was just like, or the 94 people, does he say anything about how many people are in, a stream one night? And it wasn't 100 people, it was 94. So then you're building that into the script and, catching that little clip and, watching a whole bunch
That's
of
what
things.
I was thinking. It's like, man, if he's going back and grabbing all this stuff, you have to be watching, which is good for the channels because you're going and watching their stuff. But that's a lot of time. And I don't think people realize how much time and effort that takes, which is why I appreciate those type of videos even more. And I'll watch them 2 or 3 times just because I know the effort that went into it.
Yeah. And then that got such good reception from everybody, right away. And everybody had, huge laughs there, right at the beginning of the year and things like that. And that's kind of like what I was going for, because it was, what am I going to bring that you guys aren't already doing? I mean, you look at the Steve Douglas, the Chris Flores, these guys that have been, grinding it out for years, even Chunky, some of the other channels.
Luke,
and they're killing. Yeah. I mean, every review's been done, all these other things have been done. Every rod's been covered. It's just, what can you do that's a little bit different? And I was like, well, I'm not going to take myself too seriously. I was like, that looks like the one thing that's missing. And, let's see if I can get some other people in on the fun. And then you start, messing with, Tim over at Epic or the guys at One Ton, and they're good sports and they're playing along with it and everything's just going. And, then that's what made it. So, and that's why I don't put out a lot of content, is I'm not trying to put something out weekly or bi-weekly, or, for the reviews and things like that, we could do it. But for videos like that, it's going to be when an idea hits, or even some of the fans, like some of these guys will, email me or find me on Instagram, and, I'm not like hiding out there or anything. You can always reach me that way. And like, here's an idea, or did you see this clip, or did you see the face when this happened? Or a lot of times I'm just lurking in the live streams, and I see the things happen. But, I still have a line, like there's lines I won't cross, like, I could do that, but that's inappropriate, or, this would be funnier coming from them because it happened on their stream. So that's theirs to share, and, things like that. So,
Kelly said, I got to go back and catch a couple comments. I didn't want to interrupt you. So your cuz, and let me say hello to Kentucky Catfishing. Man, it's so good to see you back in the mix, buddy. Cody, it's good to see you back, man. He's been out not making videos for a while, and he dropped his first one, I think it was last week or the week before. It's good to see you, man. But your cousin Murillo said that he seems to be taking a lot of blame for all this stuff. What do you have to say about that?
He could be an instigator. I mean, he's a great person, but there are, again, we grew up together, so we know each other pretty well. And, out of, all these people in the community and things like that, if there's anybody that knows me very well, is going to be that guy. Like, cousins, sure, but still one of my closest friends, somebody I trust with, any kind of information and things like that. And, Mike's got a line right about here, and mine's a little bit higher. So if Mike can't say something or won't say something, he may, send it over to me. And, I'll say it. I'll take the hit on those, or, things like that. But we all just have our spots, and he's really good. And I've said it before. He's kind of he can be the glue that holds a group together, and he can be a mediator, and go out and bring in new people, and do all these other things. And I have a different skill set, and it's not always seen on camera. It's just different, but it's about having fun. Like that's our whole thing, is having fun.
Yeah.
Even with the last video was just taking my son out. That's what I got in it for. That's why I do it. He's the one that he wants to be a YouTuber. He wants to
really
have a channel. Oh yeah, he wants to have
awesome.
all these things, but he's 8 years old, so he's like, if you can get out there and get me a channel that I can take over someday, he's like, that'd be great. So like, if you ever see him in the videos or hear him and I didn't edit it, he's always asking, is it recording? Did you get that on film? Did you see me with this move? Did you?
He's thinking.
And he produces. He's like,
he's going to keep you on your toes, man.
I want to do this, or I think this would be funny, or should I do this, or can I laugh and do these things? So if he's coming up with those ideas, I'll let him run with it, and I'll put it in there, and I'll put out a video. Not everybody will like it. Man. Not everybody will get it. But again, I mean, that's why I'm doing videos.
It doesn't matter at that point, because that's a father-son moment, and how appropriate that you say that on Father's Day. I mean, I think that's awesome. I didn't know that. Like, I knew that he was in your videos, and I've watched him, but I didn't know he wanted to be a YouTuber.
Oh yeah, that's his favorite thing, and
it's crazy.
Go ahead. If it's not for fishing, it's for video games. It's
video games, yeah.
For fame, it's just I want to be the next this person, or I want to have a channel as big as this, and I want.
And that's crazy, because like
million subs.
We're close to the same age, and us growing up, it's like that was like a pipe dream to be, a video, in video production, whether that means an actor or an actress or whatever. That was kind of like saying I want to be a rock star.
Right.
And then YouTube came out, and people were like, I want to be a YouTuber. You're like, whatever, man. Why would you? And now it's a real thing.
Right.
Like, people make real money being YouTubers, and it's a real thing. And you can look at your son and say, well, that's actually an attainable goal.
Right.
If you work hard and you come up with awesome ideas, and you have the right personality for it, it can actually be something great.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's where a lot of it comes from. A lot of it is with him, and my daughter's only been in 1 or 2 right now. She's a little more camera shy, but she still likes to get out there and fish. But she's getting into bass fishing. She likes throwing lures. She likes doing like creative things, rather than sitting there waiting for something.
Gotcha. Uncle G, we're 24 now. We're not 29. We're both 24.
Yeah.
We had a birthday, remember? Let's see. Paula says she wants to break the Tennessee record. That'll be awesome. Let's see. Greetings, everyone. So Epic Catfish is in the house. Muskrat came in. Had a lot of people come in while we were talking, man. Thank you all for coming in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, everybody. I really appreciate it. Uncle Jeep said, sorry, my bad. Laura said, I love the wobble she did with the poles. Let's see. Murillo taking the heat. All right, so let's talk about the other side of your content. You have your family side. You have the hilarious videos you produce. What about these? I feel like that you really, really like doing the reviews. You're like me, and I know you, and I know Murillo, and Elston, and a bunch of other guys really like getting new gear, trying it out, using it. Tell me how that all started, and why you started doing gear reviews and what you like about it.
Really,
and do you like reels more than rods? Is it more rods and reels?
No, it's anything.
Okay.
Anything that's new or different for a while was what I wanted to get my hands on. So that's where like the Erebus from Six Gill come from, and things like that was, hey, here's this, those companies that pop up on your Facebook or Instagram or things like that that are constantly in your ads and things like that. Every now and then they'll get me with something, and I'll be like, hey, look at this. And Old 18 was one of them.
Yep.
They've got three,
And
$75
that's a good
rods
rod
for,
too.
120 or, 129, whatever they were doing at the time. And that's when I started, looking at what's the composite, what's it made of, is this S glass, is this E glass, what are they using, is it stainless steel things, all the questions that I was asking.
Mm-hmm.
It became easy for me to, I'm just blessed enough with the ability to be able to go and get something like that if I want it. So, I ordered those three rods and, looked at them, did the close-up photos, things like that, and did a review on, Erebus and, 6 Gill in general and things like that, and then just turned around and use those as my giveaways. I may
Mm-hmm.
or may not want it, or things like that, even with it being brand new, but it was just to test them out because, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
in last year, some stores weren't even open. Everybody was buying online. You couldn't get anything unless you were doing online, and then it was just. I think that was my main drive was if I was going to purchase something that I can only see online, I'd want as much information as I could get
Right.
on it. And anybody can do a review, but can I do it and entertain the person for 3 or 4 minutes? We've all seen the like close up on the reel and we're turning it and cranking it and things like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm one of the few people that'll do the Abu Garcia review and just dog on their customer service. There were a bunch of us that weren't hearing from them for like 6 months. Because who am
Mm-hmm.
I, to judge that they don't care about the Mexicat's
Mm-hmm.
opinion on Abu reels or anything else, but you guys might. And that's, kind of what it turned into
Mm-hmm.
was, hey, did you try the new PC Fun? Or, Cast
Mm-hmm.
King was another big one. Okay, let's get out of the traditional roles and let's give these smaller companies a chance and see what they got. And,
Yep.
you might run into quality products for half the price or that, PC Fun Chaos at 50 was one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite ones. So compare that $50 reel to, the $250 reel. I've got them both. And if I had to choose, there's nothing wrong with the $50 reel. And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what I wanted to, get out there and get that information, especially with how many people were fishing last year.
Yeah.
You couldn't get everybody was.
Yeah. We went through a period where you couldn't get anything.
Yep.
Walmart was cleared out. If you're a Walmart fisherman, which most of us are, I don't. There's not a day I go into Walmart, even if it's just for some eggs. I'm gonna go the long way so I can go through the fishing section.
Right.
And after a while, they started stocking everything, and you can get Catfish Pro rods in our Walmart now, and B&M rods and things like that. So it went from absolutely slammed and everything was bought out from swivels to hooks to everything to now it's like an overabundance
All right.
of stuff. And it's that PC Fun reel is definitely one of those, not so much the 60, but the 50 is definitely one of those that could compete with a higher price reel, I believe. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, and the 50 and 60, like everybody has their, we all have our preferences. And so the 50 with the thumb bar casting, there was a lot of people that were just trying bait casters this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's
Me.
why I would suggest it. Well, and, you
Yeah.
and Elson and we tried to get Morello in there. And, it was whoever had a good reel at a decent price, that's the one you want to get. And I just found that the thumb bar casting on some of those bait casting reels was a lot easier.
Oh yeah,
The
made it a lot
button
more
on the
accessible.
side and then having to cast and do all that other thing. You get a little more control in there. So I was like, for these bearings and this cost and $50 and a discount code and all these other things, like this is a good
Cat 18.
I don't know how many times we use that thing too.
I've used it a ton of times.
So we and that was it. So then we kind of got in the wars, and I think that's how we ended up with so many giveaways. Is I got a rod, and then Morello would get 2, and then Elston got 3, and then you grab a couple, and then we're just all buying all these other things. And I was like, well, I want to try a little bit of everything. Even with you picking up some of the Hellcats and other rods like that are coming out. Now that's what I want to do. I want to see and feel the new rod. How does it compare to these other ones? So.
Yeah, I just got I'm doing a little test coming up. I'm not gonna you know what it is because I've said it, but in a chat, but or not in a chat, in a text. But I got the Hellcat. I have a Slime Cat. I have the I just got the one of the Mad Cat's rods, and I got a TWC coming in. So like you said, it's not about what you already have. It's about informing people of what's out there. And really, I mean, when it comes to rods, you can catch a catfish on anything. But it's not about that. It's about, those of us who want to up the game a little bit, who want something a little bit nicer, or who are maybe looking for something that's going to last a long time. So that's kind of why I do it, and I know you do it the same way. And it's just cool, it's like Christmas when you have a package on your doorstep.
Yeah, and that's what made it fun, and that's what I mean, like with those videos and the reviews, like even mixing in a little bit of humor here and there, because everybody has a GX2. So I'm not going to do an 8-minute review video on something that everybody's familiar with, but if I'm going to use that as a giveaway, or I know I'm going to get rid of that too, then what can I do to entertain people for a couple minutes and make fun of I was actually making fun of Elson's Ford truck breaking down all the time in that video, and then struck a nerve with Uncle Josh and half the other people that drive Fords, and I'm like, guys, it's not about you, but I think a lot of people knew where it was coming from. But I mean, that's I think at this point most people know that there's a level of sarcasm and humor that come in the videos and things like that. So that's really where I did it. And then the masks are in outfits and things like that. When I was asked to be on the knot tying contest and things like that,
that was awesome.
I just it was I bought that Zorro costume for a Halloween party I was supposed to go to, and then since everything was canceled in 2020, I didn't end up going. So I still had the brand new costume in there when the knot tying thing came up. I was like, I was supposed to be an alternate, like last case scenario. Can you help me out and jump on camera? And then I'm like, well, how am I going to get on camera? And nobody's going to see me and things like that. And I'm like, well, I got this Zorro suit laying around, so it's just
well,
one
let's
of those
go.
moments.
You perfect segue into the mask, and so I don't know what you want me to say about the reasons you have worn a mask in the past. So I'm just going to say, why the mask, and is it something that you're going to stick with forever, or what's going on with that?
Oh, it's definitely not a forever thing. When we did them, it wasn't. As a matter of fact, let me get this thing.
There we go.
That thing's hot. But so
there's the Mexicat, y'all.
Yeah, this is me. I'm not Michael Morello. I'm not Elston.
It's official. It's not Michael Morello.
And I'm also not on my channel. So for those of you that don't know, there's actually a couple reasons that I've always had a mask or done something like that. I wasn't like hiding from the camera or anything per se, but my occupation, for those that don't know, is I do criminal intelligence for law enforcement. So there's a couple things, like if you remember the whatever your belief or feeling towards law enforcement were, we weren't all that popular last year. And in my line of work, the things that I do and the people that I go after, they could, come after you or try and find you and things like that. So I don't deal with, the greatest people. I do a lot of digital forensics and criminal analytics and things like that. So going after like large rings and large people. But while, we've taken some of the larger groups down and out, or seen some of those things in the papers and news and things like that, our team's really good about that. But really what it came down to was just an archaic social media policy that we have at work, and why I don't nobody uses my name or has my name, or I mean the people that I've talked to and mailed giveaways to and things like that, I've always asked them to keep be sensitive about it, or not share it. But that was the reason,
right? Not
so much to be like it's the same reason I don't accept a lot of Facebook requests and things like that from people that know me. Is a lot of almost all of my friends on there are former military or current like undercover, officers and agents and things like that.
Right. Yeah.
We're just using Facebook for different purposes, and my actual
Mhm.
name's on there. So let me grab a drink here real quick. But
check out that merch, y'all.
You can't get that one. I custom made that one. But the big one was our social media.
Let me say thanks to LG Bass Tom throwing out $20 super chat. Viva la Mexicat. And everybody's freaking out in chat. I don't know if you've seen
I can't see it.
Yeah, I'm throwing up the comments, and oh my God, here Church said, "OMG, Mexicat unmasked. She's never seen you unmasked before." Epic Catfish said, "I'm calling most wanted." Sector 7, never heard of it. Mexicat, right. And you're never well.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. But
yeah, so thank you again. Not only for being a veteran, but doing that kind of work. And we've had a couple conversations, and I know a little bit more about what you do. And it's not glamorous, and it's hard, and it works on your soul and your mind and your and I know that you deal with a lot of stuff like that, and you see the worst of people. So thank you for being on those front lines as well, trying to keep us safe, doing that kind of stuff.
And I love it. I love what I do. I mean, that's I was, corporate for a long time, and that was, I looked at law school, things like that. I actually got accepted and was going to keep going that corporate route, but after like 18 years of that, I was like, okay, where can I take this skill set and still apply it somewhere else? And that's where, the analytics will transition and things like that. So it's just, different targets that I'm going after now instead of money. And that's a lot different, but the main reason for it and why you'll still see me in masks and things like that on my own channel, even after being on this show and everything, is our social media policy is so silly, but so are people these days. And like if somebody in the audience can put 2 and 2 together, and they're right. Like you see all those lawsuits all the time where I don't like this person's opinion that they said on this YouTube video, right? I don't believe that they should be a city, federal, state employee, and my tax dollars paying. So it's really a protection for us, on as we're putting out things on social media. You wouldn't see a lot of
I mean, I agree with you. I'm in education, and that not to interrupt you, but I feel you on that one.
That's exactly.
It's like I have to be careful as well with the opinions I put out there. So that's why I'm always going to share my Christianity no matter what, because I got to answer to Him ultimately. So no one's going to hold that back. But as far as like politics and things of that nature, I just kind of steer clear, not because I don't have an opinion, but because of my job. So I feel you on that one. Catfish Hero said he is just as handsome as I thought. Old Villa said, "Love you even more now, brother. Black back the blue."
Yeah, Ovia got. They found me on Twitter. He was one of the first ones. Went out to the website and custom made a T-shirt for himself, and then one of his friends sent me a picture of him with a fish holding that up on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" I didn't know who. I think I shared that with you guys in text. I was like, I wasn't sure who this was, and then she was like, "Oh, that's Ovia." I was like, "Oh yeah," I was like, "That's awesome."
I remember that. So Mexicat is he code name on the force. It all makes sense. Let's see if I got any more down here. We missed a bunch of them up here. Let me see. Just as handsome as I thought. Murillo said, "Watch him fade the lights."
A little Marvin Gaye in the background. These candles kick on.
Yep. Catfish and Crappy said, "I need to put a mask on, I think." Let's see. He's the man in black. Man in black. Let's see. Sharina said, "Thank goodness she's been fascinated with your job since you talked and couldn't tell anyone." Well, you still can't.
Oh, yeah. They know. Like, and Sharina won one of our reels from one of our giveaways, and there's a couple of people, and they've been real receptive about it. So that's all. What's always been awesome is I'll just tell these people, hey, this is what I do, and I appreciate it if you don't, share it, and here's why. And they've always been like, oh, that's great. Sharima is one of them that's known for months. Baltimore angler, of course, you and Elston and Mike. And, there's some people out there that have known. They just respected it and never said anything.
Catfish Krabby said, I knew a bunch of law enforcement in the YouTube world, and they had to keep it on the DL too. Muskrat said, careful, Ovia, he'll find you. Dan too said, oh no, the Mexicat unveils still via El Mexicat. That's your troll there.
He's gonna be my competition soon.
Yeah, Ovia says, don't stop wearing the Zorro ever, brother. Cool. Let me see. Go back down to the bottom. Not all heroes wear capes. Super Mexicat. That's right.
Well, I had the cape. I was gonna lend it out to Stan. I think he wanted it for a while, but maybe I'll ship that over to him.
Yeah. Let's see. Black out his face and distort his voice.
I thought about doing that a few times. But...
let's hear Mexicat motoring. Motoring. Ryan sent me a video today. Him and his lady and I think his daughter went out on the boat and sent me a video screaming motoring.
That's you got the new trademark on that. So.
Man, I made a new shirt and put it up on the site. I don't know if I like it or not though. God bless us all. Amen. Paula Smith, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Uncle Jeep said, wear the outfit while shopping at Walmart. No one will notice. I don't know. They might be bringing in people like Mexicat to get him if he wears that in Walmart.
Yeah.
Vibe 7 said, I got a speeding ticket a while ago. Can you put in a good word on my behalf to lower it? I was only going 12 over.
That's not bad at all.
All right. So, obviously, you fish a lot of places Michael Murillo fishes, and when we see him and Trish out there. So, what are some of the? I know the answer, but tell everybody what the main species of fish are where you're at, what you normally target, what you're going to be targeting this weekend for the Iron Cat.
Well, the Iron Cat we'll be after mostly the channel cat and some flatheads. So we've got channel and flatheads. We don't have blues like locally here. We can get them in the state. We can hit. Some of the rivers, some of the bigger lakes, things like that are stocked with them, but not anything that's really easy to get to from here. So we have a lot of, for catfish, we have, blues the flatheads and channels, but we've got all sorts of, bass, drum, gar, like all those fish are out here, pike, muskie, walleyes. Well, we're in the same area, like a lot of people are familiar with, Spencer from River Certified.
Yeah, River Certified.
So you see him, he's on a lot of the same rivers and lakes that, we're at and what I'm looking at for this weekend and everything. So
awesome. Rel Andre, thank you for the $10. He's got the thin blue line as his avatar, so he must be in law enforcement too or know somebody who is. So thank you for that support. I'm buying your clothes from Walmart. Okay, Paula. Let's see. Epic Catfish said, so Mexicat challenged me in a vid to wear a cape. All I had was a towel and didn't want to be the towel man. Tell me about that.
Well, that was it. It was, Tim was just coming on the scene, like, right when we did. And he starts with his, Epic Catfish.
Right.
That huge, that's video number 1. So, how do you?
Yeah, it's like that's hard to top right there.
Right. But then, so, we do that, and then he's leaving, great comments. I try and answer and respond to anybody that leaves a comment on the video, like 100%, whether, I agree with it, don't agree with it, whatever. I try and, interact with everybody. And, Tim was cracking up with that, chunky video and, John Morello and, a lot of people were just, dying laughing with that. And then, Tim had come out and, put another video in there and you could just tell he had changed his voice, a little bit, and
Yeah.
was getting a little slow. And I'm gonna get in here, give you this epic voice. Look at this back end, and things like that. So then we started talking in comments, playing off of each other and everything. He was just like, I was like, well, let's, make this fun. We can, play off each other. We can do these things. We're just trying to have fun in the community. And that was it. So that, that one video I made where I said I was still stuck in my suit from the knot tying while I was in it. I was just like, yeah, I saw, Tim go and run and jump and, got this awesome action shot jumping on a boat. But I was like, do you have a cape? And like spread it out a bit. So I was like, come on, let's do some intro videos together. And, it's just things like that. Playing with the 1-ton guys, Michael Murillo, you guys, anybody that has fun with it. Stands, 3 and 4, even throwing everybody in like those compilation videos for, the Super Cat give back and, things like that. It's just, it's all in fun. Like nobody would do, any of these ridiculous things or say these things. And it's just weird, how video editing is to where you can take something out of context. And I mean, you see how easy it is to do and manipulate and things like that. So it's not to be really malicious. It's really
right.
I know this.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I haven't taken offense, then nobody else should. Okay, he's made fun of me too.
Oh, yeah. That rap video made it easy.
Mo homesteading evening at Palmetto Cats. Is that really Mexicat? That's him.
Yeah, that really
That's
is.
him.
Oh yeah, and Mo had her suspicions for a long time. We were talking through Instagram and things like that. So, she knew I was kind of, on the deal with some things and wasn't, showing myself and why there was no pictures of me really anywhere.
Yeah, I think your last one. I mean, you've got me with the rap video. You've got me with the cast. The Happy Gilmore cast is what everybody loves to bring up. I'll never live that down. That's okay. I found that if you make fun of yourself, that people tend to not use it as much unless you do what I did, and then people make do it more. Let's see. Epic Catfish said, "I still have some fun Mexicat type ideas to do." Sorry, let me read that more coherently. I still have some fun Mexicat type things to do. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole point. Like everybody's talking about, how we're a community and we all come together and we all learn from each other and we all bounce ideas off each other. And that, that's one of the recurring themes that a couple of us have talked about is when you're looking at some of you guys with, thousands of subs or, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of subs, there's, 1 to 300 of us that are, in this community and creating and doing these videos and things like that. So if, the couple hundred of us are, using ideas or bouncing things off of each other and, doing this or even, taking things to a different level or a new level to entertain the thousands of people out there, then do it. I mean, that's
right.
That's my idea was, even if I've mentioned to you that you make me raise my bar with the things that you were doing. And then, you've got drones and multiple camera angles and all these other things. And sometimes I'm like, I just want to fish. So, I'm not putting out a video this week.
That's all I want to do too sometimes.
Well, right. And then I didn't want to lose sight of that when I was making the videos. And I've got a drone that's never gone out. I've got a bunch of ideas that, I've got on the shelf and I may or may not use them in the future, but for right now, it was just fishing and having fun, taking the kids out, getting out with my brother, my friends, and having a good time.
Right.
And it wasn't,
the important stuff.
Right. And so that's how I always looked at the channel was it wouldn't matter to me how many people came along and, with the channel, it was the reason that they were doing so. So, if it's not for a giveaway, if it's not to see, what's going on, it's can I organically reach people on a level to where they want to check, me and my family out and see what we're doing and have a couple laughs along the way. Then, that's what I do it for.
Let's see. Vibe said he's got to go pick up some stuff, pay some bills. Thank you for your service, Mexicat. And a huge salute to you, sir. And then wished everybody good night. Lauren thinks that that is Uncle Mexicat on TV. And he said, quote, he is fun to fish with. He is the coolest. Wait, is that Uncle Kevin's show? So she doesn't call you Mexicat most of the time, does she? What does she call you?
She will sometimes. She's all over the place. But she knows Uncle Mexicat, or Mexicat or Mexican. Whatever. We did that one video just to kind of again, just to let people know it's okay. We don't take offense to anything. There's you know I don't see colors. I don't care about politics. I don't do any of those things. That's why I was in the service. I don't care what it is. I'm just glad you can do it. So that again, there was Mexicat is not in anybody's phone, so there was a lot of people typing that in their phones, trying to say hi and be friendly in chat, and it came out as Mexican.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting here just trying to play off of it because I know exactly what happened. And hey, Mexican. Oh, that's a little on the nose, don't you think? And then I'm sure that they're blushing and embarrassed and things like that. But so we just throw in a video. Just like you said, just make fun of yourself for it too. I mean, we've all done it.
Absolutely.
There's no malice in this group or community. So
Ryan Bortz wants to know what bait you're going to use for the Iron Cat.
I think we'll be all over. I mean, I don't mind saying we're down to a couple of different places, so we'll have some live bait, cut bait. If things go slow, we'll have night crawlers as a backup. I mean, sometimes I'll do that anyway, just because it's my mystery rod. But bluegill, shad, whatever kind of bait we've got in the water there, we'll throw out.
Awesome. Epic Catfish said, I love a good, quirky, fun, and funny Mexicat video. Even the intro song and the Siesta Catfish logo.
Yeah, that song, I don't know what that's in the YouTube library. I don't know how I ran into it, but I think it was something with like Brazil Nights or Brazilian Nights or something like that. But yeah, that was just one of the first ones I heard, and I was like, that sounds kind of Mexican. I'll just use that one. So.
Well, we're over an hour. That went quick, didn't it? You were nervous.
Yeah, that went real
and
quick.
We sat here and talked for over an hour.
Oh, I knew we could once we got out there and started talking about everything. Yeah. Just trying to keep everybody entertained, answer any questions that they had, and let people know. I mean, because when tournament comes up this weekend, for Iron Cat and stuff, I couldn't guarantee out in that heat I was going to maintain a mask on the whole time. So at least people know where I'm coming from and, why I've been doing what I do.
All I can say, RB, is that I got no hits on the squid I bought. That's Michael Murillo. He said that. I'm not sure. I figured he was talking to you. Who was he talking? Oh, Ryan Bortz. Okay, he was talking to Ryan Bortz. That's what RB means. All right. Let's see. Any other questions for Mexicat? Let's see. I could go for another 2 hours. Great stuff, Kevin and Mexicat. Yeah, and Mexicat's one of those guys you can just talk to. He's a wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure we'll be seeing awesome stuff from his channel for years to come, and more gear reviews, because, like me, he just likes to buy new gear and test it out. Oh, man. Well, hey, man, anything before we leave tonight that you want to leave with everybody? Remember, everybody, his link is in the description. Please go check him out. I'd love for him to go check out his channel and be pleasantly pleased that he's got more family members over there, as Stan likes to say. But the floor is yours, Mexicat. What can we look forward to? What's coming up for you?
Well, I just, I appreciate being on and being able to talk and, kind of like come out from behind the mask. And, I know a lot of comments have been out there like, is it Michael Murillo? Is it Milton? A lot of
even
people,
Jesse at one point. Jesse from Outdoors Addiction, yeah.
And then, so then I'm throwing at all of us, in videos at the same time too. So, or even one of your trivia questions, I saw all of us.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it was really just an opportunity to come out and let everybody know, like, one, I don't take myself too seriously. So I hope you don't either when you're looking at my videos. Like, the reviews are going to be completely different, but that's why I've got them in different spots. There might be, a joke here or there, but it really is about getting, trying to be a substitute for people that can't get out and actually put your hands on the equipment in the shops and things like that. So as far as the future, like, I think I don't rush any of the like collaboration or humor videos or something like that. They have to come to me, or I have to have like a purpose, or something that sparks it. If somebody does something silly, or Dan falls out of a kayak or a boat again, like, I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing to make a video because something like that happened. But for the tournaments and things like that, if your heart's in it, you can do anything. So that's really what it takes. I can't force that. Otherwise it wouldn't work. So when it feels right, I do those. But aside from that, I mean, we're getting into our season now to where I'll be out multiple times a week and taking the kids out, or going by myself and hitting friends. So I figured out my GoPro. So we should be seeing a lot more footage and things like that now. That was not my best friend.
So it doesn't erase everything. Yeah.
But I think I've got it honed in now. So it should be a lot of fun.
Well, your cuz says he won't say it, but I will. The Mexicat is an awesome dude, friend, an amazing brother, cousin, son, and father. And he has got a wild sense of humor. Watch yourself. Ha ha ha. Yeah, so don't mess up too much, or Mexicat might screenshot you and just save it in his back pocket for later when he comes up with an idea.
Right.
Let's see. What's that hat you have on, Mexicat? Said El Catfish Grande.
Oh, that's a Catfish Pro from Abu Garcia. I saw that up on their site earlier this year, and I was like,
it looks good.
I should have one of those. So yeah, I liked it. But again, it's Abu Garcia, right after their last year. So I think this was the third attempt at them sending out the hat, and then it took a month or so to get out here. But they've COVID, so
yeah,
I think it messed a lot of people up. So
Uncle Jeep said, life is too short to be serious all the time. So if you can't laugh at yourself, call me and I'll laugh at you.
That's a perfect Jeep speech right there.
Yeah, man. So I did want to bring up one other thing, and I know a lot of people are going over. Make sure you go check out Avid Fisherman after I'm done. I think he's live now. Of course, Chunky is live. I'm sure you can catch other live shows going on. But Mr. Gadget had a great suggestion, and I'll bring this up to Hervé and the gang. At Catfish Conference, you can walk around, you can get hands-on with a lot of things, but a lot of the reels and stuff, you can't really get hands-on because they're in the boxes. So maybe, I can get Steve and Hervé, man, talk to them about a booth to where, a couple guys can come out like me and you and Murillo or anyone who has a bunch of different reels and rods, and just have them set up so people can check them out. I think that's a great idea, Mr. Gadget, and I'm not sure if he's still in here. But what do you think about that? Do you think that'd be something worthwhile? People would enjoy that?
I think so. I mean, because we're really giving the companies, taking a chance on them and things like that, and have no idea how it's going to go. And everybody likes certain things about different reels. So if you can do a quick side by side, like bait clicker, comparison, or how smooth, it is, or if it's level wind or not level wind, or if it's palmable, or how well it sits on a rod, in the reel, like, those are the things that we all care about. And those are the things that you never get to try. So anything that would expand on that, I think, would be a good idea.
And it could be possible even that if we don't have something there and someone does have something, that they might let us borrow it for the conference. And because that side-by-side thing is really what I think we're talking about, not to go over there and try to break rods or, hold each other up on it. But just like you said, having that reel there, ooh, this clicker's louder, but I don't like this about it. Or, I'd rather have this. Same thing with line. I think line is a big thing too, having an open spool there so you can feel it and touch it and, feel the texture. So we'll expand on that idea, and I'll get it to the right ears so that we can make it happen. Those of you who don't know, the Catfish Conference is February 24th through 27th in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'll be giving out 5 pairs of tickets this Friday on the Iron Cat Bank Fishing Challenge. And the winner of the Iron Cat Bank Fishing Challenge will get a free night stay in the Crown Plaza Hotel and a set of tickets to be Catfish Conference special guests. So good luck to you on that one, Mexicat. Are you gonna take Murillo if you win it?
We've talked about it. That's not, like I said, when I was in the military, that's not a bad drive. I was out in Carolina for a while. So I've driven from here to North Carolina in one stretch. So to, hit Tennessee or anywhere else along the way, it wouldn't be that bad. So
awesome. All right, well, everybody, I don't want to take any more of Mexicat's time, and definitely want you guys to go check out Avid Fisherman and Chunky Cats. So I'm going to pray us out like we do every weekend. Heavenly Father, I just thank you for this time, and I thank you for giving us Mexicat here, Lord, to get to know him, to get to see him, and I just thank you for him and the contribution he makes to our community. Lord, I just ask that you bless him and his channel and his family. I ask that you bless everyone that's in here, and I thank you for this channel that you've given me to share my love of fishing and my love of you with the whole world, Lord. And I just thank you for all your gifts and your glory. I give you all the credit. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for coming in last minute, but I feel like this was an awesome show, and I think people are going to check you out. And I
it was
hope
a good
they do.
time. Thank you for having me.
All right, man. Hang out, and I'll talk to you after the broadcast. Everyone else, until next time, happy fishing.